We've been working pretty diligently, or at least fairly hard, at trying to get enough production up so that we can actually make a few things happen in order to be able to run 4 of these Lab Mark 4s. Hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back to Captain of Industry. Yes, we've been busy, and I mean by busy, it's just literally been trying to get all of the little things down and done. I know I've been kind of just stretching this out a little bit because I've been trying to juggle a few things both here and at the real job, the real office job, kind of thing. So we're finally getting to the point, I think, where I've got maybe a little bit of a schedule, a little bit of a time. So I think what we're going to do for today is we're going to go ahead and finish the last little bit of this mess. So over the last several episodes, we've been trying to get the production, the basic little nuts, bolts, and screws built up, ready to go. So we should have all of our silicon that we need in order to be able to make all of the, well, hopefully, I'm hoping that we have enough microchip production at this point. We did a whole lot of glass, actually probably way too much glass once we realized that we had the numbers incorrect. We also had to do a whole bunch more just additional, adding in of various circuit making machines, electronics, whatnot. And I did have a little bit of math out of whack here. Well, a little bit of math. I went ahead and kind of doubled down on the paper because we are going to need some, I think. And I absolutely swear I turned the music down the last time I was playing this game. They must have updated a few things. Here, let's take you down there for now. I know that's more than the music, but that's a little better. Anyhow, we're going to do a couple of goofy things today, and I guess the couple of goofy things is we're going to finish this whole mess. I've got it all laid out. It's going to sit over here. I know you can see probably a whole bunch of ghosts over there. We're going to play with them in a second. What's going to happen immediately once we get this started is that we're going to almost immediately be able to, well, almost immediately. The first, and I know I've been saying this, the first major research that we're going to do is Robotic Assembly 2, which is going to get us the last of the assembly machines, or the assembly 5s. Again, these are going to double the amount of capability that we have in all of our assemblies, which means likely what we're going to do is slow trickle, and I mean slow trickle, some of the upgrades into this system, because if we don't tear apart what we have going on right now, we'll be able to just immediately double things, which means I'll immediately be able to do something silly like that, and we'll be able to go from, well, whatever we're doing right now times 2. So I don't have any of the efficiencies set up over here as far as our office. I know there's buttons I can push to get to those. It doesn't really matter. Anyhow, we don't have any of those things set up. We're going to have to change a couple of things because I've just been kind of running usable stuff right now. So, vehicle fuel consumption is turned down. Maintenance is turned down just a little bit. We're running a little bit of recycling efficiency. There's some other things I think we can probably make happen, but we are going to crank this all the way up, which means I have to make room for 6 things to change in here, which is fine. We can get that done. Actually, I think I only need about 5 or 6 points, which shouldn't be too hard to do, I think, at this point. So we'll get there. I might turn one of these down, say like there, and then we come back in here. This goes up. I think I take these down, something like that. I don't remember exactly what I had done. I think we can do something kind of like that, and then we should be able to maybe turn, say like this down, or maybe I turn this down 1. I'm not worried so much about the maintenance. This is actually, those 3 fellers over there standing are actually doing quite a bit of good for us. I think if we stop and look at that, that should catch us. We're also at a point where our unity is a nice, big, large number, so we should be able to actually kind of fix a few things once it decides to settle out and do what it wants to do. Anyhow, I guess we can clean up some of the mess over here as well, too. Now, in the end of the last episode, I kind of started being concerned about our, what do you want to call it over here? The limestone production. And I think what we may be doing while this is kind of ongoing is I may start going ahead and building out the storages and either having them truck it over here so that we can stop trucking all of this, meaning just have one layer of trucks running back and forth instead of this one truck that's over here doing the work, or 1 or 2 trucks that's over here doing the work, delivering everything, because there's going to be a fair amount of stuff that we're going to have to move. But anyhow, what my plans are for today is pretty much we have everything laid out. We're going to explain it real quick. Then I'm going to push go on it, probably just sit here and let it build itself, maybe move the camera around a little bit and maybe speed everything up and do a time lapse or something like that, because this is going to take an unholy amount of these things. I mean, it's 40 times what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 12 12 plus 8 times 12 plus 16 plus 4. What am I doing? Plus, yeah, 12 plus 16 plus 4 plus whatever the labs take. So they're 300 apiece. Which is why I'm glad I have about 1,500 of these things somewhat put up. I believe we have about, no, we have 1,300. So there's going to be a lot of little things to explain, so I guess we can get into it as the way it goes. Like I stated, we're going to make an excess of paper for the science, what is the science 2, the lab equipment 2? Those are 2s, right? Yeah. So we're going to make an excess amount of paper because we're going to, in maybe this, well, maybe not this episode, but hopefully next, we're going to start talking about offices. I don't think I have enough people, and I don't even know if I have enough room. I believe we have enough room to get all this done because every one of these are going to take 80 people. There's going to be like 300 people right here. I mean, I know I have housing for 1,694 people, but one of these can take 250. The next level takes 500. So we may try to build the next one and just try to get some of this going just because of the benefits that these can do. And then we're going to have to start seriously thinking about expanding both our food production and our people production, or people, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But anyhow, let's get on with this little discussion here so we can talk about it again. Like I said, we've got extra amount of paper going to be built in some chemical plants, Mark II. We're going to deliver the limestone to this corner over here, which is then just going to be fed into a bunch of belt lines. We've got belts and stuff everywhere. There are 2 shredders sitting right here ready to do the work. They should be enough to take care of all of these chemical plants. The first row down here is going to be making the lab equipment 1s, which we only need 4 of those. They're already hooked into the system. However, they're going to be powered off because we are going to inject all of our excess that we have laying around. There's lots and lots of excess science sitting over here. Science, lab equipment, parts, whatever. There's plenty over here. We're going to use all of that up first. Then we're going to be, I guess, well, then we'd be dumping that into a row of, I think, what is this, 8? I believe 8 if we're calling them. 8 assemblies that are going to be making the lab equipment 2s, which are just going to take some glass and some, I'm thinking I'm screwing up at this point in time. I don't think I'm ready. We're going to have to run some glass lines in here, aren't we? I believe I didn't do that just yet. Now, that'll be one of the things we'll get done. That's fine. It's okay. But anyhow, that's going to go do with that, all this kind of stuff in here. That will take care of that. That will then be dumped into the next layer, which is going to be making the lab equipment Mark IIIs out of the 2, and some green electronics, which will be coming from over here. Then we decided, since I have a kind of a roadway right here, I moved everything forward just slightly and elevated all of the production between here and there, and dumped that into the 6 assemblies that are going, 12 2 pairs of 6 assemblies that are going to be building the next bit, or the last bit, which is the lab equipment 4s, which will then deliver that stuff into labs and back out. So we still have a little bit of work to do, but I mean, it just about got done sketching, and I looked up and realized that, you know what, you've got it gone, you've got it done. Let's just go ahead and figure out what it's going to do and get it sorted. So again, these 4 labs, once we get them all built, are going to make about about 198 recycling products per minute. So we're going to run them down along the line over here and into the second half of these recyclers, so that we can at least run, if we get really screwy and sideways, at least those right there will be able to run into both of these at a minor under point. So it's going to be, I believe, about a max of 144. These things can process various numbers. I was actually kind of playing around with this. These sit here and wait for, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of 72 scrap before they start working, unless they're just kind of being bored. And like I said, so it's going to go, it's anywhere between 50 and 70. The numbers are fairly simple. It's like a full half of whatever the number is that it starts to work on turns into iron scrap. Then it is a third, I believe it's like a full half or a full 2/3, some kind of a silly number like that, where it's all of that's going to be turned into iron, and then you take whatever the last of it is, whatever's left, you cut that number in half. That is, well, it's like it was some really weird numbers. Let me just put it like this. The numbers were that it's mostly iron scrap, followed by mostly copper scrap, followed by mostly glass. Now, anything that's gold that's coming out is a very teeny tiny minute amount. So what we're looking at is we're going to get a reasonably large amount. Like, say, you can kind of see the numbers right here. So it's like 67 production last month for iron, then like 55, and then, little bitty tiny numbers. So your big numbers are really going to be between the iron and the copper. And that is going to be a very big deal because that's going to help us make a lot more stuff. So like that one run for that one deal, that's almost two batches of copper. It's almost the same amount of stuff going back in there. So it's very helpful for us. Hopefully we'll be able to make a good use out of it. Although, again, like I said, we'll probably be turning the recycling down slightly just because this is going to get really crazy, I think. Anyhow, so all I do think I have to do left here, and I guess we can do just a small amount of building on camera, is the glass. Glass should be on that belt right there. Maybe I did do it. Okay, yeah, I was thinking maybe I didn't do the glass, and I don't know why I thought I wasn't going to do the glass. The glass is in. So hopefully, and by that I mean hopefully, when we fire this mess up, we're not going to need to do too much, but I am going to have to absolutely pay attention to power because, well, we're sitting at about half of the demand, almost half of the demand that we're using right now, idling. As soon as this thing fires up and goes to work, we're going to probably start screaming for power. And if we are, then what I'm going to have to do is, well, probably design an entire brand new power plant somewhere. We're just going to go from there. What I want to do, essentially what I want to do is I want to fire this thing up and make the labs, get the labs made because the labs are going to require 96 of the lab equipment each in order to produce. And then I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get this particular research done. And then we'll see where we feel like at that point, because what we can immediately do is upgrade half of every one of the assemblers in this whole mess and shut off the other half and save a little bit of power if we have to. We will also get 2 people back every single time we do it. So it is 250 kilowatts each. What are these? They are 400. Oh my. Well, I guess that does help at least by 100. Well, yeah, 100 kilowatts each. So but that'll be a pain in the butt as we go. But anyhow, yeah, I suppose what we do is we very slowly unpause some of this, let it get built, and then once we get up into this area over here, we can unpause one of these and go. So I guess let's get to it. All Alrighty then, I think we have at least 400 of those ready to go. We're going to kind of let this build up just a little bit, but I do think we've got everything built outside of all of these labs. So let's go ahead and do the unpause on pause at least to there and there and there, there and there, and go. And then all I got to do, we've got every one of these set so that they can export out of here, so they're all going to have a little bit in it. They should be able to pick the materials, some of the materials at least out of these, and away we can go. So we have 140 people. Let us do the thing. Make parts, guys. I'm going to start with half of it for right now. Like I said, we may end up be just running a little bit of this right now. Matter of fact, let's just pause these for right now just to keep them from coming online. I know that's a lot. I think I only need, what, 3 to make this work? They need 48, right? Yeah, I think I only need 3 to make that work. So let's do a little bit of a just careful run through. Let some of this go. We'll get this one up and going. And I do want to pause it so that it doesn't go to work and start consuming power. But yeah, we're already, I'm a little concerned. Definitely a little concerned. Hey, there we go. First Mark IV lab, not on, ready to go. We're going to kind of, I don't know, I suppose we build them all first and then we see what happens. Just make sure they're off. Well, I don't want to build you yet. Just pause. We're going to build them one at a time. Since they take so many parts. I mean, it's going to take a while to build them anyway, just because each one of those is 300 of the construction parts for. So it's going to take it a couple of minutes. Plus, then we got to dump, what is it, 96 of the science into it. So we should have the science available, or at least the lab equipment available. I don't know. We'll see if this will run. If not, I'm going to maybe have to build a little more power, because every one of those also takes 1 megawatt a piece. Okay, so to start with, let's go ahead and play with just 2 of these labs. I'm going to have to order some more people. Hey, can I order some more people? Does anybody out here want to become our friend? We need 160 or a little more. Let's take them all. That's fine. We're going to need them anyway. 200 people. Hopefully we have enough food. I do have a couple of these farms turned down slightly, so I might go ahead and kick these guys up to just a little bit higher than they currently are. But, again, hopefully we have the food. That's going to be my problem, I think, is the food. Power is not a big deal. We can just shut things off and then rebuild power should we need to. And that's going to be a lot more water, too. I don't even know what I'm going to do. We're going to have to start seriously thinking about building some more power for some other things. So let's go see if we do this and that. This will be half of what we were looking at doing. So almost 200 science per minute. And let's see how much that breaks the bank. Click on that one, please, and start researching. Oh yeah, that's right. I have to do the math for the fact that we're going to be running labs. How are you not happy about this? 2 research labs, we're down 83. Okay, I got to find a little bit more unity somewhere. Oh, right. I don't need that. Well, I'll get rid of a little bit of it. Not a lot of it. That's still going to take a little while, but at least I kind of, like I said, I kind of want to ease into doing science again, doing this kind of stuff. Hopefully, even at that level, we aren't going to be too terribly destroyed. My major concern is trying to keep up with this stuff, the recyclables that are going to be coming out of here. I think we'll let her run a little bit and see what it does. Okay, how many friends can we go higher? We don't have anybody here. We don't have any. Oh, I need to re-up these guys. I wonder if they'll give me anybody. You guys have 8 out of 40 that I can go back to. I guess I could turn the thing back on and let them start repopulating on their own. Take me all of those. Take me all of those. And take me all of those. Can we get to 80? No, I'm going to have to... How about this? Is there people over here? Yes, there's 40 people over there. That's 80. I guess we try while we're at it. I know this is not a good idea, but it is kind of slowly filling. Like, we're running everything at the same time. We're building construction parts as well as building the science, doing the science. So I think, well, I'm going to need more than 80, aren't I? I need to turn on 2 of these, I think. 4 of those and 3 of these, which that's not enough. All right, we'll do the thing real quick. I'm going to turn you back on for right now and keep an eye on you. I need about 100 people. So pause, 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 pause. 1, 2, 3. Unpause. What's wrong with you? Why are you missing products? What are we out? What happened? Oh. What are you guys doing? Paper. How are we out of paper? What happened? Paper is paper. Paper has wood. We don't have... Why are we not keeping that full? Oh, I didn't do a... route assign import, please keep that full. You guys stop digging in that corner. There is nothing left. I was just trying to get them to kind of work this corner out. All right, I need to tell them make limestone and we need to stop fiddling around. Go ahead. Dig actual stuff, guys. Thank you. I'll worry about the rail line later, although we're almost to the point I could drive it through at least to that far. Need more parts. Let's go. Yeah, I see the blinks. Come on, spin up. I still think that there's an issue. They just do not want to listen. For whatever reason, it takes them a little bit of time. Even though they're running with a... Even though we're running with this on, it takes them a little bit of time to spin up. Yeah, we may need to, we'll get this done. We'll get that robotic assembly done, you know, the last one of these done. And then we may just stop and let everything buffer back up, build, and then... Okay, so this was what I was going to be starting to worry about. You should have had enough. Why are you out of parts? Probably because I forgot to upgrade a belt. Again, gotta find all the little bugs, all the little fun things. Upgrade, 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 and upgrade. And everybody just get Unity. Make parts. Alright, we found a few bugs, so I've turned a few things off, at least for right now. The bugs were actually kind of down here. I had screwed up and managed to not do some stuff down here that I don't know how in the heck I did manage to do this, but these were not very well updated, so the reasoning why we were having problems with power is because once all of these fired up, it was just a hair more than what this could deliver. Because if this bucket runs out, or if this storage runs out, then it was only delivering at 200 when I really needed like 300 or 400. So I went ahead and upgraded both of these, and we put a delivery line from here from the other coal source over there for now, so that should at least keep this burning. However, I do think we are going to butt up against a wall of pain. So what I'm doing right now, I shut everything off. We got about halfway to the first, well, almost halfway. Went ahead and built out everything except for that. I guess I need to set this to get built. Just go ahead and build it for now. That way we're done. We're going to let everything populate, fill all of these storages back up so that all of the parts, pieces, whatnot, materials that are being currently used to fill our construction boxes back up. We're going to let them fill up first, and then I'm going to let the base idle for just a little bit because, yeah, I was running, well, triple what I think I needed to run. So, you know, just me typically trying to break things, and that's exactly what I want to do. I honestly do want to see where things break. So if everything turns on and it works perfectly, then we aren't having any fun because we don't get to troubleshoot anything. Because, again, like I said, I'm not an engineer. I'm an electrician. Not really, but anyhow. So everything else seems to be functioning. I think I'm going to have to start seriously caring about the iron, though. I know we're getting a little close. They're putting a whole lot of dirt in here, and we're not really getting a whole lot of stuff. So I may have to have them start hacking what's left of this down. And again, this is just kind of where I figured we were going to be at this point. So I wanted to get all of that built, constructed, sorted out, and then we will see what we need to do, because I do honestly feel like I'm going to be moving towards this patch of iron fairly soon, or I will start with the cleanup crew to head towards this one. I really probably should have dug through that mountain, but I didn't, so it's fine. We won't worry about it right now again. So I'm just going to kind of piddle around with this and see what we can do. If I can get this done by the end of the episode, again, I'm going to be sitting here fiddling around in the background, letting things work, because every single time I do this, again, I like to break stuff, and I like to break stuff badly. So we'll see how this all goes. If everything's good, then we'll finish up the episode with getting that first lab, and then we may upgrade a few of these other little guys down here to try to help us out. If not, well, we'll see where we go from there. Alrighty, I think we're going to turn things back on and see what happens. I've let everything buffer up that needs to buffer up. I think our biggest issue, is still going to be that iron farm over there. But I'm going to run everything except the last lab, I think. I think we have enough people. So click, pause, and pause. Let's run 3 labs for right now, because I do have a problem that I know I'm going to have to solve in between episodes, and that is that iron patch is going to probably run out about the time that this will finish. But we'll see. I mean, I still have all of the ramp to dig up. I'm just trying to dig what's left of the stuff that's in this hill. There's still a pretty decent amount of it right here, but they're having to truck a little bit of distance, so I may start actually having them cut into here and then drag it around. But let's see what that looks like. So that's going to be 91 times 3 right now. So 273 science lab research per minute, and once everything goes to winding up, that should be almost at capacity for what's going on. Should, almost, but we shall see. So I did kind of have to do a little bit of goofing over here. It's fine, we have plenty of coal. It's just, you know, we have to keep an eye on things. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, it could go faster, but we only need 13,000. So once we get a little bit more goofing around, once we get a little bit more of these assemblies going, then we should be able to crank that up quite a ways. But I am kind of a little bit concerned at this point that we are running out of this resource, which is going to be the next project. We're going to have to move this someplace else, and I'm going to have to decide where that's going to go. But there should be plenty of iron in that mountain, or this side of this little ramp right here, to at least allow us to move when we need to. And I think, like I said, we're probably just going to come right over to this one, because there is a lot. I think there's a lot more iron in that pile than there is anything else. Plus, again, we have one back here that is pretty stinking deep. I mean, it's kind of hard to see it, but it is really stinking deep. So we'll see how that goes. But we should be good. I need to start working on the back side of this mountain anyway because of the sand issue that will eventually happen. So we do need to start probably carving a path through this mountain somewhere, and then getting this beach leveled out and laid out to where we can get to that quartz mountain, and then start mining this, because there's a lot of stone on top of that too. So it'll be an interesting time. I am a little concerned I'm going to have to start worrying about digging down into this one though. But yeah, I think we're going to let it run for a little while, and I'll see you guys once we get, hopefully we get that done. So I'll be back in a little bit. There it went. I missed it. I missed it. Ding. No, we're done. There we go. Finally, robotic research, assembly 5, and I managed to get it all turned on. They were all running right towards the end of it. I had every little bit of it going. I think we have a throughput issue over here, and I do not really understand why. I just don't understand why. I just upgraded the pipes again. Everything is running. All the numbers match, but it's like, it seems like the game is starting to have issues. It's kind of like with this little problem right here, where theoretically I should only need 4 of these coolers, but I wasn't getting enough throughput of the coolant through the system, so I had to put a 5th one down because it was like it's rounding up or rounding down, one of the two. I don't know. We are going to have to probably make another maintenance 2 thingy, aren't we? Where is the thingy? I'm probably going to have to make another one of you, I suspect. Give that a boost for a minute. We have plenty of time. All of this should be set up, although I don't think... Yeah, we'll go ahead and kick you up and do that again. Everything should be good. But again, we're going to be working bugs out, doing various little things here. But now, what that means is, technically, I can start taking some of this stuff and upgrading them one by one. So it only cost me 32. That's interesting. Upgrading them one by one, just kind of like starting down the line. We'll put one here, one here, one here, one there, one here, you know, just all the way down the line. And then once we get everything kind of somewhat sort of figured out, we can then start doing more of this stuff over here. All right, I am where I wanted to be. It's going to be a little bit of time, probably. I'm going to have to, like I said, we're going to have to start worrying about this problem, which means this is going to need to move either over to this area or to behind base over here. And if I decide I want to do this over here, then I need to stop making science and start digging probably from this side over to here so we can get to it, because this area is a nightmare. And again, I would really like to be shoving all of this nasty rubble and whatnot into the ocean right here so that we can start burying a causeway over to here. So it might just be that I start digging a hole, or I maybe kind of dig a little path across over to here and then dig our way this direction and dig our way over there. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a while. What we really need to do is start taking this mountain and dumping it into this ocean over here, like we kind of did over here. So, yeah, in reality, like most of the mountain over here and a lot of the mountain that's right here and a lot of the mountain that used to be right here is now laying down here on the edge along with a lot of slag and a lot of dirt, a lot of few other things. So, cool. We are back to doing science. I should be able to slowly pick my way through it. I may go hire a few more people just in case. I think we need to start looking at some of the auxiliary systems, i.e. food, and, well, some other stuff. So, until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I will see you all later. It's been a long time coming. I might do a little bit off camera. I might not. I don't know. I'll see you later. Bye.